this tutorial I will be explaining colourwork, or Intarsia knitting as it is sometimes known, which is the technique of creating separate sections of colour within a knitted piece. When doing colourwork, I prefer to add a separate ball of yarn for each different section of colour, rather than stranding the yarn behind, as I feel that this gives a much neater finish to the work. I will now explain how to add the different yarns, and you join me on row 3 of the pattern for the football shirt. I have knitted the first 2 rows in yarn A, and I now need to knit 6 in yarn B. So to begin knitting in yarn B, simply take a new ball of yarn B, leaving a long end for joining the seams later, and then simply knit 6 like so. And you just may wish to pull the yarns from behind to even out the tension. So I have knitted 6 in yarn B, and I now need to add yarn A. So simply take a new ball of yarn A and then knit the first stitch like so. Then drop this yarn, take yarn B over the top of yarn A like so, then pick up yarn A once more and wrap yarn A over yarn B, thereby interlocking the 2 yarns together, as this prevents any gaps or holes forming in the knitting. So now we need to knit 6 in yarn A like so. And once again we need to add yarn B to create the striped football shirt pattern. So once again, drop yarn A, pick up a new small ball of yarn B like so, then simply knit the next stitch in yarn B. Once again, drop yarn B, pick up yarn A, place yarn A over the top of yarn B, then yarn B goes over the top of yarn A, thereby once again interlocking the 2 yarns together to prevent any gaps or holes forming. And so you need to continue this pattern to the end of the row. I have completed knitting this row, and as you can see I have added a new small ball of yarn for each section of colour, so that I don't have to then strand the yarn behind. So I now need to purl the next row, once again wrapping the yarns around one another to prevent any gaps or holes from forming. So need to purl 6 in the white like so. I'll just pull that yarn there just to even the tension. Then, whoops, when changing to yarn A, you then have to drop yarn B, the white yarn, and then pick up yarn A like so from under yarn B, once again wrapping the 2 yarns around one another. So simply take yarn A over the top of yarn B and continue knitting like so. Then once again I'll just pull the yarn slightly to even the tension. Then I would drop yarn A, pick up yarn B, and once again wrap yarn B over the top of yarn A like so, to prevent any gaps or holes from forming in the knitting. And then you continue to do this all the way to the end of the row. And then pull in the yarn like so to even out the tension if needs be. And this is the front of the football shirt that I have finished earlier. And then as you can see, you are left with all these yarn ends, and it is very important that you weave these yarn ends into the knitting to once again give a neat and tidy finish.